Hello, I'm John Coriel, one of the spiritual practitioners here at the Center, and a happy day to you. Good to have you with us this morning for our wonderful meditation. I thought I might start with a little reading from Eckhart Tolle about stillness. He says, "Stillness is the only thing in the world that has no form, but then it is not really a thing. It is not of this world." He says, when you look at a tree or a human being in stillness, who is looking? Something deeper than the person. Consciousness is looking at its creation. As Reverend Shaw will be talking about the fire within that belly of ours a little later this morning. And that's a wonderful thought to know that stillness can bring forth a wonderful unfolding for you, a wonderful, how should we say, demonstration of good in your life. So we look forward to that here and now. As we take a few deep breaths, we can take our consciousness into the stillness that is within each one of us. It's right here where we are. That wonderful stillness. It's wonderful to laugh, to chuckle, and I always know that spirit is in touch when laughter or joy comes up, just pure joy. So we're turning away from the outer world, the world of effects and stuff and things, and turning to our wonderful God essence that is within us, within each one of us, just as we are. Just as we are. And a wonderful thought, too, in this time of seeming aloneness, from the Science of Mind textbook, the words, "I am not alone." It says, "I am not alone, for a presence goes with me and daily accompanies me on my travels," wherever they may be, whether they're thought travels or whether they are actual travels. We know that I am not alone, that God essence is right here with each one of us, with ease and grace. So let us take this time to turn to Spirit, turn to that infiniteness that is a part of us and is always there to serve us and to open up avenues, wonderful avenues for us. At any time we desire, wherever we may be, we can call upon Spirit. And what a wonderful thought that is, to know that God essence is right there where we are, right there where we are. So we can just take a few deep breaths, each on our own, and relax and rest into Spirit, into that infiniteness right here and right now. As we continue to breathe deeply, slowly, releasing any stresses or strains, just knowing that that God essence is right here where we are, right here, right now. It is good. My God is my good, and my good is my God, right here, right now. Feels so good, feels so good. I turn away from worldliness and turn totally to spiritualness, that peace within, the peace within. God is, and I am, right here, right now. God is, and I am. How good it is to turn within. As we gently bring ourselves back into the room and to the essence of God that is there all the time for us. You can just rest in that. Relax, release, loose, let go, and let God right here, right now. Let God right here, right now. We know that Spirit, God, that infiniteness is what we are, is what we are always about. The real truth with a capital T. The real truth with a capital T, indeed. So we just say thank you, God. Thank you for this wonderful time we've had together in the stillness. And just knowing the presence of God is always here and available to us. We give thanks for that. And I thank you for joining us for this morning for our meditation. Our service will begin at approximately 10:30 this morning. Thank you for joining us again, and namaste.
Good morning, happy day, and welcome to our 5th virtual presentation from the Centers for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. I'm Associate Minister Reverend David Renee Jennings.
And I'm Music Director Vicki Jennings. And we want to take this moment to welcome you and let you know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we're so glad you've chosen to join us this morning.
Let's do a blessing.
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome to the Centers for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're grateful for you.
Welcome. We're going to take this moment and say a very special happy birthday to Reverend Shell Redfern. Shell, happy birthday this morning.
Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Reverend Shell. Happy birthday to you. We love you. We appreciate you.
Good morning.
Stay tuned for an empowering, uplifting message from Reverend Shell Redfern. Have a great day and a wonderful week. All the best.
Good morning. I want to go to heaven. I don't want to read the book. Don't want to see a documentary just to take a look. And I don't want another lecture or some television scam. I want to go to heaven because heaven's what I am. Well, I've taken lots of classes, you know, I've heard a lot of people talk. But you can't just memorize the rules, you know, you got to walk the walk. A workshop may be useful to help you find a way. But if you're gonna make it, you got to live it every day. And I wanna go to heaven, I don't want to read a book. Don't wanna see a documentary just to take a look. And I don't want another lecture or some television scam. I wanna go to heaven because heaven's what I am. Well, if you pay attention, I'm sure that you will find heaven's really not a place, you know, it's just a state of mind. State of inner peacefulness, it's a state of amazing grace. You'll know when you get there, you can see it in your face. And I wanna go to heaven, I don't wanna read the book. Don't wanna see a documentary just to take a look. And I don't want another lecture or some television scam. I wanna go to heaven, cause heaven's what I am. Yes,
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. My name is Malika Devi. I am a practitioner at Center for Spiritual, licensed practitioner at Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral. And today, it is my pleasure and honor to bring you the reading. And I chose today's reading from the Science of Mind magazine. It is one of the magazines that I enjoyed reading every day. And it is on page 19, the article called Calling All Good People. It's written by Reverend Earl. She is a spiritual director at Heart and Soul Center of Light in Oakland, California. Viewing Just Mercy, the movie about Byron Stevenson, civil rights attorney and founder of the Equal Rights Initiative, had me ponder what is our to be and do. It is a wonderful question that we should ask every day in our meditation. What is mine to be and do today? It's a powerful question. Had me ponder what is ours to be and do. The film is a biopic of Stevenson defending a man convicted of a crime he did not commit. The defendant is sentenced to death and waiting execution on death row. As viewers, we are offered a glimpse of Stevenson's spiritual fortitude, the inmate humility, and the lawlessness of some peace officers who were sworn to honor and protect. This persuasive absence of justice in the judicial system ensures a caste system designed to benefit inequitable economic and social strategies. I was struck by the silence and dishonest testimony required in order to ensure the scale of justice are held in this tragical, unbalanced position. This is not just a cinematic scheme, nor it is relegated to our past. We see this played out daily in numerous civil and political scenes, where the omission of truth, whether fact or divine truth, is key to architect of an ongoing miscarriage of justice. At Heart and Soul Center of Light, our community began the new year declaring 2020 in 2020, that we see our way forward with greater clarity and a deeper intention for what a world that works for everyone truly requires of us. Matthew 25:40 reminds us, I say to you, as much as you have done to one of these, my brothers, they have done that to me. You have done that to me. What truth is required of each of us that we all can truly be free? What can you do to lift up our fellow human beings in our beloved sisters and brothers? What defense might you offer in the face of questionable charges? Our power is fortified when we pray and work together for freedom and justice. So let us take this reading. The question is, what is mine to be and do? And what are we supporting our humanity? So I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and center to this moment. This moment is a God's moment. The moment that we connect ourselves, unified ourselves to the spirit that is within us. and the Spirit is in and through all beings. It is the one presence, one universe, one life that is ever present in everything, all things. We're all part of it. No one is exception to this. No one is outside of the Spirit. So we celebrate together in this time, in this tough time that we're moving through, the situation and conditions that we are in, and we continue to stay together, come together as fellow human beings and celebrate life. Celebrate knowing that all is good, all is perfect, all is perfect, wholesome, and complete. I am grateful to know this truth. I am grateful to see this truth. I am grateful to accept this truth for humanity and for all beings. So with a great gratitude in my heart, I release my words to the law of mind, knowing everything is good and very, very good, and I let it be. And please join me by saying, and so it is.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. My name is Shell Redfern, and I'm spiritual director of this wonderful, wonderful center. I am so happy that you've joined us today. Our theme today is fire in the belly. What the heck does fire in the belly mean? What a great question. I'm glad you asked. Fire in the belly is a deep desire to do something. It's inspiration. It's the thing that just propels you out of bed in the morning and keeps you up late into the evening. Inspiration. It's what spirit seeking fuller expression through us looks like. So why are we talking about this fire in the belly thing right now? Well, April 24th marked the first day of Ramadan. Ramadan is an Islamic tradition. Now it lasts for about 7 days, and the idea is to fast from sunup until sundown. But this isn't an ordinary fast. So you would think a fast would be, okay, I give up food for 7 days, sunup to sundown. Yeah, we can do that. This is larger than that. This involves not only giving up food, but also giving up gambling, sex, cigarettes. It involves giving up water as well during that time. It involves giving up spreading rumors, gossiping. So this is a clearing of the body temple. It's also a clearing of the mind. It's a way to cultivate inner awareness that the Islamic faith uses every single year. And as they go through this practice, as they go through these 7 days, what develops is what they call a fire in the belly. They do develop an awareness, and they have a spiritual awakening of sorts. And so that's what Ramadan is all about, cultivating this fire in the belly, creating a space of preparedness and awareness of fire in the belly. I don't know if you can hear that. My cat is having a cow right now next to me, so we'll just ignore him. I was in preparation for this. Well, actually, just because I do this, I was reading the Science of Mind magazine, and the entry for today had a wonderful story about Ernest Holmes and Founders Church. At Founders Church, I'm sorry, my cat is really being quite silly, so forgive me. Anyway, at Founders Church, there is a meditation garden, and inside this meditation garden are 3 trees. There were 3 little trees planted, right? So one day, Ernest was there, and the gardener came up to him and said, well, Ernest, look, 2 of the trees have taken just fine, and one of the trees is dying. You know, it's not taking at all. And so I think I should take it out of here. And Ernest said, well, let me take a look. So he went to the meditation garden with the gardener and took a look at the 3 trees. And indeed, 2 of them had taken just fine, green, leafy, doing really well. And then one, well, it was struggling for sure. And so Ernest asked the gardener, well, did you plant all 3 of them at the same time? Were they given the same conditions? And the gardener said exactly same time. Exactly same conditions. I used the same soil, dug it up the same way, planted them the same way. And Ernest said, well, what about their care? Have they been taken care of in the same way since? And the gardener said, yes, exactly the same way. I really think that it's just not happy here. And I think, maybe we should just move it or take it out and put something else in. And Ernest said, no, I don't think so. Give me a minute with the tree. So he walked over to the tree and he actually started talking with it very, very kindly. He said some very kind words to the tree. And then he leaned out and he touched the tree, put his hand on the tree, and he closed his eyes and he was silent for a while. Well, I'm fairly convinced that Ernest was probably giving the tree a prayer, right? Recognizing God within that tree, cultivating that energy of God within the tree. In Ernest's mind, that's the only place that the change needs to happen because we're all one, right? So he opens his eyes when he's done, and he said to the gardener, the tree is fine. The tree is absolutely fine. Please leave it here. It'll be fine. And that tree not only came back around and became healthy, it became larger than the other two trees in the garden. Isn't it interesting what happens when spirit inside of us is nurtured, when it's honored, when it's recognized? That's what happened there. Now, at the very end of the story, there is a beautiful, beautiful quote, and it was this: Spirit knows nothing of your neediness. It only knows your readiness, your willingness, and your consciousness. Spirit knows nothing of your neediness. It only knows your readiness, willingness, and consciousness. Now, I think that the author has given us a wonderful tool here. So let's dissect this, unpack this a little bit. Let's talk about readiness. Now, we are all planted in the same soil right now. We are all planted in this situation that's called COVID-19. Most of us are at home and sheltering, and we're all maintaining social distancing and stuff. And we are all having a different experience of this. So my question to you is this: what are you creating as far as readiness within you? So readiness can mean one of two things. It's preparing for, and it's also willingness. And we're gonna give willingness its own time slot here. So let's talk about prepared for. We are constantly preparing our home, our environment, our mind, our body for something. In this time of COVID-19 and being sheltered in, what are you preparing your mind and your body and your environment for? I think we have a really important discernment and decision to make right now. Some people are preparing for the worst. Some people are preparing for the best. Where's your mind? Where's your sense of readiness? What is it that you are preparing for right now? What are you making ready for? Let's look at the Ramadan analogy again. The fasting was creating readiness and preparedness for spirit. We have an opportunity right now. The world has slowed down. The world has slowed way down. And we can learn from our Islamic brothers and sisters about preparing our body and our mind for a spiritual experience. We have time to do that now. So are we creating the space for this? Are we using our spiritual tools like meditation, like spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, like journaling? Are we cultivating those tools? Because here we are, we're not so busy right now. And we absolutely have the time and the space to cultivate readiness for spirit to have a bigger beingness as our life. We can cultivate that right now. Maybe it includes fasting for you. Maybe it includes exercise for you. Maybe it includes reading for you. What are we cultivating a feeling of readiness for? That is my question to you. One other question. What are we releasing in doing this too? So not only can we cultivate a feeling of readiness by bringing new things on, what are we releasing? Are there habit patterns that you've been seeking to release for a long time but didn't have the time, space, energy, wherewithal, whatever to release them? Might this be the time and the space and the way to release some things that are not serving you anymore? To create the readiness for a grander, bigger experience of life? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I think we can make it that way if we choose to, right? Right. So let's talk about willingness. Along with readiness, we have to be willing to change. We have to be willing to look at the world the way it is. Even if we know that better is coming, we have to look at the world the way it is. Now, several weeks back, we talked about grieving. And we talked about moving through the grief process. And what are we grieving? We might be grieving the way the world once was. And we don't know how much longer we're going to be in this situation. We don't know how this is going to unfold for us as a situation. We don't know when we're going to be able to gather again as a community. I mean, this is real. This is very real. And it's okay to grieve it. And I'm encouraging you to experience your feelings. That was another part of that talk. Feel your feelings. We have to be willing to go through the dark nights of the soul. We have to be willing to go through pain and navigate it. That's part of the readiness. Part of the readiness is the willingness to experience all the platforms, all the dynamics of what this life is, to truly experience it. Now, we move through things, right? We move through things. We move beyond things. We know that God is all there is and that seeking fuller, freer expression, and that sometimes that looks messy. And sometimes it doesn't feel great. But on the other side of all of this is more joy, more life, more love, more abundance. And we need to navigate and have a willingness to move through the dark. All right? So one of the books of the month, this month, is called Broken Open. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. And it talks about people that avoid the dark nights of the soul, that will not experience pain as their life. And the author is encouraging us, look, this is not forever. We need to experience the pain so that we can glean the gift from the pain. That it's very, very important for us to have a multifaceted life in this way. So this is a quote from that book. The beginning of the chapter starts out this way. What is knocking at the door in the night? Is it someone who wants to do us harm? No, no, no. It is the three angels. Admit them, admit them. And that's a quote by D.H. Lawrence. The author goes on. If you have spent a long time on the surface of your life, you will begin to hear a knock at the door in the night. You may already know what that knock sounds like. It sounds as if someone you don't want to see has come for a visit. It sounds like, as author D.H. Lawrence says, someone who wants to do us harm. But Lawrence begs you to pay closer attention. Perhaps you've been turning angels away from your door. Perhaps the dangerous desires, the sleeping giants in the basement of your life, are really angels coming to deliver you from your shrunken dreams and your anxious self-doubts. Your soul wants you to go beneath. The soul asks questions like these. What is that weight that holds you back? What inside of you is saying no? Are you willing to look at yourself, to take responsibility for your own life? Are you willing to let something die in order for something new to arise? This is the crux of willingness right now. We are being gifted with an opportunity to let things that no longer serve us die away. Look at what's happening in our world. With us being in shelter, the world is healing. The world, the physical world, the trees, the animals, plants, the waters, the air is healing. Isn't that amazing? And if we create a space of willingness and preparedness for a spiritual happening by means of each and every one of us, we can have an awakening in this experience as well. We can awaken to our true nature in a bigger way than we've ever done before, because we're not so busy as we've always been. This is truly, truly, truly a gift. I believe that that's what's happening right now. I believe that we are being gifted with the opportunity to not be a spiritual being having a human experience, but to be a spiritual being having a spiritual experience. We can experience heaven on earth, it's our choice. But we have to create the space for that. That's what Ramadan is all about. That's what the fire in the belly means. Creating the space for a spiritual experience to happen by means of each and every one of us. For us to experience the divine in our own self, because it is there. And it is willing and it is ready for us to say yes to it. So I'm inviting us all to use this time to cultivate better spiritual practices, to really, really, we're given a time of silence, we're given some space here. Let's get to know who we are. Let's get to know why we're here. Let's be open and available to that which is seeking to emerge by means of each and every one of us, because it is here now and it wants out. So let's give it that space. Consciousness was the third point. Consciousness was the third point. And I was talking to Leland about the talk today and the readiness and willingness and consciousness. And he goes, well, the readiness and the willingness is what creates the consciousness, don't you think? I think my husband's brilliant, really. I think he's exactly right. The readiness and the willingness creates the consciousness to either invite spirit, let me try that again, to invite spirit to have its way with us, to have its way with our life, or to say no. So let's say yes. Let's be spiritual beings having spiritual experiences right here, right now, starting today. Let's say yes. Readiness, willingness, that creates consciousness, right? And that fire in the belly can burn bright. We can experience ourselves in a new way. So I know the question on everybody's mind is, of course, what would Ernest Holmes say? I'm so glad you asked. This is from the Science of Mind textbook. There is a place in the mentality, in the heights of the greatest realizations, where it throws itself with complete abandonment into the very center of the universe. There is a point in the supreme moment of realization where the individual merges with the universe, but not at the loss of his individuality. There is a sense of oneness of all life, where the sense of oneness of all life so enters his being that there is no sense of otherness. This is what we are creating here. We are creating this space and the readiness for source, for spirit to enter our life, where there is no sense of otherness, where we can truly experience the divine. It is here that the mentality performs seeming miracles, because there is nothing to hinder the whole, capital W, from coming through. We can do this only by providing the mental equivalence of life, by dwelling and meditating upon the immensity of life and the fact that as vast, as immense, as limitless as it is, the whole of it is brought to our point of consciousness. We comprehend the infinite only to the degree that it expresses itself through us, becoming to us that which we believe it to be. That's a very powerful statement. Let me read that again. We comprehend the infinite only to the degree that it expresses itself through us, becoming to us what we believe it to be. So we practice daily in our meditations the realization of life. Infinite indwelling spirit within me, Almighty God within me, real substance within me, that which is true within me. Right here, through our own nature, is the gateway and the path which leads to illumination, to realization, to inspiration, and to the intuitive perception of everything. So let us prepare the way and be willing to be a vehicle. Let us say yes to Spirit today. So let's take this into prayer. I know that right where I am, all of the power, all of the presence of God is. I know that right where I am, Spirit dwells in its entirety. I know that right where I am, God is. Infinite wisdom, Spirit, is right where I am. There is no separation between each and every one of us and this thing called God, this thing called life. And right now, we cultivate a sacred yes. We cultivate a space for Spirit to have greater way with each and every one of us. We are prepared to step into a greater expression and experience of life. We are willing to be an open vessel through which life flows. And right now, the consciousness of yes is here. Yes to joy. Yes to love. Yes to abundance of all sorts. Yes to peace. Yes to kindness. Yes to a world that works for everybody. It is here now. So for this and so much more, I'm eternally grateful and thankful. And in this gratitude, I let it be. So let's anchor this together by saying, and so it is. So be it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Good morning. My name is Pam Lambert, and I'm on the Leadership Council at Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, and I'm also a licensed practitioner. This is the opportunity, the time in our celebration where we have the opportunity to practice the law of circulation and to give where we are spiritually fed. So we have an affirmation I'd like to read. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And you can see I'm living in the flow right here in this beautiful, sitting by the river in Fort Myers. So as we pass our virtual basket this morning, there are many ways that we can give and participate in the law of circulation. You can text your donation, and there's currently a number on the screen. You can also look on our website, www.cslcapecoral.org, and there are different buttons on the screen where you can donate. Or like me, who's not so high-tech, you can either have an automatic transfer from your bank, like I do, so I can support the center all year long when I'm in Virginia. Or you can send a check to our center at Center for Spiritual Living, 604 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, 33990. And another wonderful way to support our center is to sign up at Smile Amazon if you've not already done so, and designate CSL Cape Coral as your nonprofit of choice. And that allows Amazon to support us also. So I'd like to bless our gifts. Please join me in gratitude for these gifts we're receiving today. Divine love through me blesses each gift and each giver. I know that each gift multiplies, pressed down and overflowing. I know that all that has been given here circulates to do great work, both within this spiritual community and in our community of Lee County. Standing in gratitude, I release these words. So please join me in saying amen, and so it is. Thank you very much.
When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see everything that is worth seeing. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see all the joy that you will be in. When you're watching everything go by, from the earth up to the highest sky, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God. When you're knowing with the mind of God, you will know everything that is worth knowing. When you're flowing with the stream of God, it will show in the way your life is going. When you're living every single day in the way that you have learned how to pray, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God. When you're loving with the heart of God, you will feel all the joy of your existence. When you're loving from the start with God, you will see that it's the path of least resistance. When you open up your heart and say, I can see that love is truly the way, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of
And now it's time to stand in the light. When we stand in the light, we stand knowing the truth of a situation. We stand knowing the underlying thing that is seeking to emerge. Just as Ernest did with those trees today, he knew the truth of that tree. He knew the life inside of that tree, and that life is always present. As long as we are breathing, there is life within us, breathing us. So I stand in the light today knowing the truth for each and every one of us, that we are whole, perfect, and complete, and having a wonderful experience of life right here and right now. I speak a special word of blessing for my folks, my in-laws, my extended family, and all of my friends, and each and every one of the people in the community of the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. I love you all, and I know that we are coming through this better than when we went into it. So I invite you now to either type in, if you're in Facebook or in the YouTube, there's a place where you can type in what you're standing in the light for. You can also go to our website, www.cslcapecoral.org, and there's a button for prayer request. Go ahead and hit that and send your prayer request to us. We are happy to stand in the light with you, knowing the truth about any situation that might be a source of struggle for you in your life, or something that you want to open up to in a bigger, greater way, cultivate a new sense of willingness and readiness to accept. Cultivating that great consciousness, right? Right. So let me speak a short word of blessing over these prayers. I'm just standing in the light with and for each and every member watching this video right now. I know that the perfection of the One is revealing itself as answered prayer in each and every situation that is going on right here, right now. Only good and only God prevails. And we say yes to the good, yes to the God, yes to the perfection that is here now. I'm just so grateful for these truths. and I let it be. Let's anchor this together by saying, and so it is. Special thanks as well to my cameraman, Leland. Thank you. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.